All right, welcome to this week's market preview. So we'll quickly run through what happened last week, and then we'll take a dive into what to expect in the present week. So last week, I remember when we did a video where somewhere around here and mentioned the fact that we are bullish on the swing shots, and then price had also closed bullish on Monday with regards to the fractal OF. So we got this close on Monday above the upper fractal, right? And so we are expecting that we are going to get reasons to buy. All right. But I've mentioned before that we usually have something we call a weekly reversal model. It's not something we trade, but it's something that stops us from trading. And that is when we have a fractal high above the previous week's high, and then price takes it out. We basically stop looking for further buys unless some other things take place in the market. All right. So within Tuesday, I also mentioned the fact that we were looking at a situation where we could have our Asian session highs taken out and then look for reasons to sell. So as of the time this was taken out on EU, it wasn't taken out on the dollar. You could confirm that by yourself. On dollar futures, the Asian low hadn't been taken out, so we're waiting until we got another entry on this candle. Sorry, the details of how we get our entry is strictly for those in the FXP course. So got our entry right on this candle. We would have taken our fibs. So when we are trading EU, we usually have a minimum stop loss rule of 10 pips. So we would have drawn out our setup like that, and then taking it up. All right, until we get 10 pips. What is going on? Sorry. Need to get my parameters out, my levels out rather. So the entry. So this is basically how you can get your figures out. Just write percentage and then the dollar sign, and then you get the numbers out. All right. So if my entry is at 1.0833, my SL should be at 1.0843. All right. So that will give me a 10 pips SL. So price then began to push to the downside, give us TP1, and then went into TP2. I also remember that I also mentioned the fact that our volume trend was still bearish, so that if price took out this fractal high, would then be looking for a reason to sell, not as a weekly reversal model now, but as our volume trend model, which I call the B1 model, right? So you could go watch last week's preview to basically see all that I talked about in that particular video. So that basically happened. And then we got our entry to the downside. And why the USD was pushing all the way down. And if you also go to your dollar futures, we began to see this massive sell-off in the USD. Unfortunately, we didn't see that playing out like that in EU. So we got a little bit of a push to the upside, but it wasn't that strong of a push compared to the USD, which came to actually take out Monday's. So on USD, we took out Monday's lows, but on EU, we failed to get anywhere close near Monday's high. So what basically happened was we got our entry, it gave us TP1, pushed a little bit as if it was going to a final TP, and then basically reversed against us. So that was basically how that played out, and that played out both on EU and on GU. So basically left the second trade with uh, break-even trades, right? So this was the profitable trade for the week, and then the buys on EU and GU and the sell on USD. The corresponding buy on EU and GU was basically break even. And then on Friday, we then saw this massive push of NFP that eventually now broke um, fractals to the downside, right? Broke fractals to the downside, and also give us an ATR bust, which is where we're going to start our analysis for this week. So having broken to the downside, we have an ATR bust to the downside. So this week, our main play is going to be looking for counter trend opportunities. So we'll be looking for opportunities to buy the USD going up already. Today being Monday, dollar has virtually done the entire range of the week, given the sell-off that started, continuing the sell-off that started last week as well. So if we go to our USD baskets, what we're expecting is for price to create a fractal low. I'm expecting that this is going to, in a few hours, be a fractal low. So we'll be expecting price to then dip below that fractal low and give us opportunities to buy on the lower time frame. So once we have an ATR bust, it basically suspends all our other strategies, all our other models until sometime later in the week if we see some other things playing out. But the way this are set up, those other models would still not be valid if we are to get a fractal low and then that fractal low taken out as well. So this is going to be our main play for this week. We'll be expecting a fractal low to form, then price takes out a fractal low, gives us an opportunity to buy the USD, and we'll be looking to sell EU and GU. So that will be that for this week. For the fundamental aspect of what to expect for the week, I will encourage you to head over to the Trade Experts website, www.tradeexperts.com.ng, and read the latest blog post that's going to give you an overview of what I expect the markets to do from a fundamental perspective. Have a blessed trading week and enjoy.